Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. So what's been so obvious to me is that as this season has gone on, Kevin Young has relied on the older veteran players, and it is paying dividends for this team now because they just get better and better and better as games go on. And so, listen, this game doesn't single-handedly put you into the NCAA tournament. I'll tell you what, though, it's pretty freaking close. With this win, BYU is now 18-8 overall in the Big 12. And really, I think a pretty manageable schedule, all things considered, going forward. Now, it doesn't get easier Saturday. They go to Arizona. As somebody who's also been to McKale Center, that is another great venue in college basketball. BYU played Arizona tough when they were here at the Marriott Center just a few weeks ago. But you play Arizona, then you get Arizona State. Arizona State, I think, is kind of quit on the season. West Virginia, who you just beat at Iowa State, Utah. That feels like a 3-2 finish to me. I don't know if you could steal one of those two on the road. And I think if you're sitting there right now at 18-8 and you finish 3-2, that's 21-10 going into the Big 12 tournament. That's an NCAA tournament team right there. And then it's what can you do at the Big 12 tournament to improve your seeding. So for BYU, I just think you got to sit there and say, listen, don't overreact, don't whatever. But at the same time, if you just do what you're supposed to do against the teams that you are capable of doing it against, there is no reason why you should not be able to get to the NCAA tournament. And I think once they get to the NCAA tournament, they could do damage there. I do want to make one more kind of commentary on BYU. And let me say this, because I know it's going to sound like hyperbole and I'm caught up in the moment. They just beat Kansas by 30, whatever, blah, 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 blah. By the way, The Optimist is saying the BYU game day environment is as good as anybody in college basketball. I agree, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, I want to say this about BYU, okay? And I said this over the summer, and I got pushback, and I'm going to get pushback now. People are going to say, oh, Torres, you're living in the moment because you're at the game, and they just beat Kansas, and Kansas stinks, and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. What I would say to that is this. I truly believe, and this is being around this team over the last couple of days, I believe that this program is on an upward trajectory in college basketball. I believe they are a freaking rocket ship in college hoops right now. And I believe they are a team and a program that is going to have to be accounted for in college basketball going forward. Because the one thing about BYU that you can say, there's all sorts of programs all over the country that claim, oh, we do everything we can to support our athletes, to support our coaches, to do this, do that. Everybody says that. I can tell you, I'm on the road all the time. I'm in these facilities. I'm around these programs. I'm around these administrations. I can promise you, everybody says that. It is absolutely not the truth at most places. And being around BYU over the last couple of days, it is absolutely the case here. The basketball facility is amazing, and you could sit there and see that there's already, there's so many staff members, they're kind of running out of space in the basketball facility, but the facility is amazing. It seems like, now they're getting a new AD, but it seems like everybody is rowing in the same direction. They have a massive staff in terms of Kevin Young basically said, this is what I need, that's what I need, this is what I need, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to win at the highest level. So, they have everything from, strength and conditioning, nutrition, think about this, they basically have like that NBA-ish front office type setup. Who's behind them right now? Just about everybody. Remember, North Carolina, Hubert freaking Davis was saying just a few weeks ago, hey, we need to get ourselves a GM. We're behind. And so BYU has that infrastructure in place. By the way, we're going to talk more about the Marriott Center in a second. 17,000 people. The place is insane. I'm telling you. Listen, I've been to a lot of great arenas in college basketball. Fog Allen Fieldhouse is great. Bud Walton is great. McKale Center in Tucson's great. This is a place that when it is as loud and packed as it was tonight, I don't know how anybody wins in here. So great fan base, great support from the boosters. That's the other thing. NIL is changing with this rev share stuff, but you are going to have whatever support you need financially from boosters independent of the rev share that's going on in NIL. And so you have the coach in Kevin Young. And I think the other thing with Kevin Young, really two things. He's only going to get better as time goes on. I was thinking about this, and this is kind of crazy. Kevin Young did not get hired until April 16th of last year. Remember, we know the whole process. Enfield leaves USC for SMU. Musselman leaves Arkansas for USC. Calipari, remember, did not leave for Arkansas until early April. Then it was another week before Mark Pope got hired at BYU from BYU to Kentucky. Then it was another week after that Kevin Young got hired. So first-time college basketball head coach that didn't get hired till April 16th and basically did not have a roster until a month after the portal opened. So he really had to scramble to put together this roster. And now you look at it, and it's like, this what I just saw right there, what you all just watched on TV, that is a top 25 team in college basketball right now, okay? And so he basically put together a top 25 basketball team on the fly over the summer and figured it all out. And he's still getting better. He's still learning. And the one thing I'll say, you talk to people around him, he is one of the few guys coming from the NBA that gladly admits what he does not know. Sometimes you get these guys from the NBA, oh, I know it. I coach at the highest level. And we've seen the failures. And I hate to be a jerk, but here's the truth. Jerry Stackhouse didn't work at Vandy. Not John Thompson. Patrick Ewing didn't work at Georgetown. Chris Mullen didn't work at St. John's. And so I just bring it up because Kevin Young has come in and said, I don't know what I don't know, but I want to learn. He's adjusting on the fly. As I said, he's already changing how he's putting together lineups with the older players taking the place of the younger guys. I mentioned the scheduling thing. He told me point blank, he's like, I'll be honest, I didn't know what went into a schedule. And so next year, we're going to be that much better. We're going to be that much more prepared. We're going to make sure that we schedule better to make sure that we're in position so we don't have to be great in Big 12 play. And then, oh, by the way, don't ever forget this either. We all know they have the number one recruit in America coming in AJ DeBonsa. But again, I know everyone's going to say NIL, 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 NIL. But at the same time, to me, what stands out about the AJ DeBonsa commitment is he is coming into a place with an infrastructure to help him win right away. Again, resources, facilities, fans, fan support, this, that, the other thing. And I would just come back and say this. If you don't think this staff is already trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to use AJ to build around him, to this, to that. And so again, they're not going to be a month behind in the transfer portal like they were a year ago. And so I just bring it up because, man, if you are a BYU fan, you have to be excited. I really feel it. And again, I'll tell you, just because this team has not, done certain things, checked off certain boxes, doesn't mean it can't be done, right? And I think that's the big thing. They have everything they need. And I think they really feel like just because we've never played deep into the tournament, played into April, whatever, doesn't mean it can't be done. We're in the Big 12 now. It's the second best conference in college basketball, and we are more than competing. We're winning big games. We are in the Big 12. We have the resources. And Kevin Young said this on the show, by the way, if you remember when he joined us over the summer. He talked about, listen, what do we need to succeed? We're in a great conference. We have NIL, and we have the fan support that you need to succeed. And so I'm just telling you now, and this will be a great clip to play back in 2 or 3 years if it works out. If it doesn't work out, we'll just pretend it never happened. But 2 or 3 years from now, I think this is going to be a consistent top 25 team. I think they are going to be a problem in the Big 12 as long as Kevin Young is here. But what a night for BYU. Final score 91-57. Cannot believe what I just witnessed.